Hey guys, so this is update 2 of the TEDx Summit. We woke up on day 2 and had a big huge buffet breakfast here in the hotel, which was it was this awesome spread of just fruit and juices, and like there were these weird fruits that I didn't even recognize. There's something crazy called dragon fruit, which was it looked like kiwi, but it was white, and it was delicious. And they had watermelon juice and papaya juice and pineapple and jasmine, and I don't know, just really some crazy stuff. They had crepes with Nutella, and then they had yogurt and different Middle Eastern hummus and baba ganoush, and it was just this huge spread. It's probably going to take me all week to eat my way through it and try everything. But anyway, our big activity for day 2 was we signed up for something called dune bashing. So a bunch of us, probably about 60 of the TEDx Summit guests, we basically all met down at the front of the hotel, and we were met by a fleet of SUVs, and each SUV had a Qatari driver, and so we all kind of picked a car to jump into. So my wife and I ended up in a car with TEDx organizers from Puerto Rico and Austria and St. John's, Newfoundland, which was really cool. We just nobody knew each other, and we just kind of all jumped in together. And then our driver was a young Qatari guy named Yusuf, and he was tall, thin, and was had the white robes, and so off we went. This whole fleet of SUVs. Out of the city, we drove south from Doha, probably about 45 minutes, and the desert here is really, really flat, and we passed all the small villages and the natural gas refineries and stuff that is the source of Qatar's wealth, basically. And so we drive for about 45 minutes, and then we stop. And we get to these huge, tall dunes. If you've ever been to the Outer Banks, and Jockey's Ridge, and some of the dunes they have out there, these are probably 2 to 3 times the size of that, basically. And so we got out and took pictures and had kind of an introduction, and got some water, got hydrated, and then we jumped back in and went off on this little dune adventure, basically. And it was funny because we get in and Yusuf's driving, and he's got his music on, and I would have guessed that we'd be listening to some traditional music or Arab pop or something in Arabic. But his favorite music is American hip hop, and so we are just jamming through the desert, listening to to all this hardcore crunk, just hip hop, and it was just really crazy because he was just kind of he had his mix, and we were all just kind of bopping along to it, and it was just this really cool moment where you realize that we're all connected by something as simple as music. So that was just really cool. The drive through the dunes was, it's kind of like being on a roller coaster without the roller coaster, or without the amusement park. We would go just charging up these really steep dunes, and then down the other side, and it felt so steep. And I'll definitely show you guys some pictures, and I took some video clips of it, and it was just really, really cool. And So we do that for a little while, and then we eventually get to this beach, and we pull up on this beach, and the water's real blue, and people kind of wade out a little ways, and you look out in the distance, you can see these mountains, and so they told us, like, well, you're looking across the water to Saudi Arabia, which was pretty cool. So we took some pictures and kind of hung out there for a little while, and so then after that we did the second half of the tour, and we ended up at this little seaside resort place for lunch, and so we pull up there and walk out to the beach, and on the beach they have this huge long tent set up, big tall tent with with rugs all on the inside, and these little like low couches and pillows and stuff, and so we sat on the rugs and had this really cool just buffet lunch with like chicken wings and rice and curry and salad, and it was so cool because you would sit down next to somebody, and they're a TEDx organizer from Pakistan or from London or Nigeria, and it was just like you realize that like you're sitting here with people that are literally from all around the world, and it was just kind of cool to hear everybody's stories and just kind of get to know everybody. So that was really cool. And after lunch, we got back in our cars, and we headed back to the city, and then kind of they dropped everybody off at the back of the hotel. We took some pictures, and it was just kind of a cool way to kind of get to know people as a first event. From there, we kind of walked around a little bit. We went over to the mall, and Allie and I sat outside of Starbucks, got a cup of coffee, just like you do in the United States, and just kind of sat and people watched, and it was just a cool feeling to realize how common some of these things are. You can be anywhere in the world, and a bunch of people are able to share kind of common experiences. So that was really neat. Then we came back to the hotel, got ready for dinner. They had a huge opening reception for all the TEDx organizers. So met Dan Kinzer from Taiwan, and we kind of started talking about TEDx and some of the stuff that we've been talking about. Shared some of what we've been doing with happiness and some of the TED Talks back and forth. It was really cool to kind of connect with him and start to kind of collaborate on some of our projects. And then met Nancy Hunt, who is the organizer from TEDx Teen up in New York, and kind of got a little bit of the behind the scenes of their event. And again, it was just really cool to kind of sit and chat with people that you feel like you've known for so long because you followed them online or their work, and it was just so cool to kind of meet everybody in person, and then people that you didn't even know that they would just come up and say, hey, I'm from TEDx Huntsville in Alabama, or I'm from TEDx Cincinnati, or but TEDx Canberra. Just all these people that were just so excited to get to know each other. So I'm really looking forward to more of that this week. So yeah, we basically kind of closed the place down. They had to kind of like stop the music and like turn on the lights and like, okay, you people need to leave now. But it was cool because we were just so like engaged in conversation that you didn't even think about how much time was passing. So that's I guess that's day 2 in a nutshell, and I'll keep you updated with what happens next.